All right, let's get started. Today, I'm going to share with you why your PPP loan may be sold from the bank where you applied and what pitfalls you're going to want to avoid throughout the forgiveness process if this happens. You're not going to want to miss this. So you've heard right. Many banks are opting to sell their PPP loans to simply get out of the loan forgiveness business. As many of us know, this process with the SBA has been slow and confusing at times, and many banks have had enough. There is a company who is buying up PPP loans that take them off the hands of the banks who are eager to get rid of them anyway. The Loan Source is a non-bank small business lender that has already acquired over 20,000 PPP loans with more than $2.9 billion in outstanding balances. Now, the reason I bring this up is to caution you that this business acquiring PPP loans is incompatible with the nature of this forgivable loan. For example, when you go to apply for forgiveness, your bank or lender has 60 days to review your application. Then they are supposed to pass it along to the SBA, which has an additional 90 days to determine if your loan will be forgiven, partially forgiven, or not forgiven at all. Therefore, if these loans are going to be nearly 100% forgiven, how can a company like the Loan Source actually be in business? Well, some consumer groups say that these non-bank loan servicers have the potential to make much more money selling the borrowers other products, and therefore question whether the non-banks will help the borrowers navigate this complicated and emotional forgiveness process. What's truly concerning here is we all know that the information so far has been unclear from the SBA. And when many of us were applying for PPP loans, it was with a rational expectation that certain regulations and disclosures would be forthcoming. However, what's problematic right now is that you have a company going after PPP loans, which are loans designed to help businesses that are distressed. Therefore, these businesses could become targets to sales pitches for things like high-cost financing products, additional insurance policies, and other add-ons from companies that now have all your information. And unfortunately, this is already starting to happen. On the Loan Source's website, there is a company advertised to help you with PPP loan forgiveness at a rate of around $1,500. Now, on one hand, I think it's great that there are services out there to help small businesses get their PPP forgiveness. However, I find a very obvious conflict of interest when you have a company buying PPP loans and then advertising services on loan forgiveness. By design, their entire purpose is to process your PPP loan forgiveness. However, their portal is closed, so that isn't even something that is possible right now. Just like many of us, they are saying that they are expecting some sort of updated information from Congress, perhaps legislation about a second round of PPP in the next few weeks. However, none of that is clear yet, and the forgiveness process is essentially delayed as a result. You might be asking yourself, why would a bank process a PPP loan and then sell it off right away? Well, financial institutions earned a sliding scale of fees for processing your PPP loans. Based on the total dollar amount approved, lenders could earn 5% on PPP loans that were $350,000 or less, all the way up to 1% for PPP loans that were $2 million or more. Now, many of the big banks are pledging to donate any of those earnings to community outreach style programs. However, I think it's important to note that they already made their money, and now some of them are getting out of the PPP business. Some of the reasons for that might be to avoid having to build any sort of in-house PPP loan forgiveness systems, along with avoiding having to support customers for 2 or up to 5 years for loans that are not forgiven simply for a 1% interest fee. So let's address the biggest concern many of us are probably having right now. We took out a loan that was supposed to be forgivable, and now we're worried about it turning into a debt that's owed. Well, here's a few things you could do to avoid that happening. Number one, check out my video on the PPP Easy Form loan forgiveness application. It's a tutorial that walks you through the process of filling in the Easy Form for PPP loan forgiveness. Now, that may not apply to everyone out there, so there's also a checklist to see if it applies to you. By familiarizing yourself with that process, you can prepare to apply for PPP loan forgiveness when and if you're ready and your lender's ready. Number two, prepare yourself for some sort of sales pitch during the PPP loan forgiveness process. This means that when you contact your lender or receive an email from them about how to apply for forgiveness, there might be some sort of additional links about needing more support, or perhaps a sales pitch for, like I said, insurance products or other types of financing. You need to be prepared to handle that and simply say no thank you maybe a couple times if that's something that you're not interested in. And number three, consider waiting to apply for forgiveness. Now, let me be clear here. Many of us want to get these loans off the books. However, either the 8 or 24-week period is not up for everyone yet. After the covered period, you have an additional 10 months of deferral before you need to apply for forgiveness. Even if you apply towards the end of the 10 months, your lender still has 60 days to review your forgiveness application, and then the SBA has another 90 days to process that. My point here is there is a very good chance that there might be some sort of blanket forgiveness or second round of PPP. Of course, nothing is certain yet, but lenders are pushing for blanket forgiveness for any PPP loan amount under $150,000 all the way up to $2 million. So when and if that becomes a law, all you would simply need to do is sign a form and keep your own documentation that you spent the money appropriately. But then it would be automatically forgiven. Also, another thing to keep in mind is there could be a second round of PPP funding available to businesses. As a result, there could be new rules about rolling the two loans into one for the purposes of forgiveness. I'm just speculating here, but I wanted to at least put that on your radar. Okay, let's recap. There are non-bank lenders buying up PPP loans from the places where you might have applied. This is a little unsettling because by design, these loans were meant to be forgivable if spent on the approved and appropriate expenses. As a result, to have a company coming in and buying up these loans, it seems incompatible that they would be able to make money, unless they were trying to acquire you as a new customer for additional services. Other things like insurance products or high-cost financing options. There's a lot of businesses out there struggling, and this is simply an opportunity to offer additional services to those businesses, but at a cost. The best thing for you to do is familiarize yourself with the PPP process in terms of what you can spend money on for payroll and for approved expenses. And then take a look at the video I did on PPP loan forgiveness to see if you qualify for the easy form. And if you do, familiarize yourself with filling in that document as well. I'll be sure to keep you up to date on any other PPP or unemployment style news when and if it happens. So be sure to hit subscribe if you haven't already, like this video, and ring the notification bell. It's things like answering questions down in the comments or seeing that subscriber number grow that really helps keep me going. So thanks. And of course, this channel is all about personal finance and investing. So for a limited time, you can get 2 free stocks when you deposit $100 with Webull. I'll leave a link down below to that in the description. Also, we launched a brand new private Facebook group for people who love talking money and helping others learn about money too. Feel free to join that. And again, you'll be one of the first to help craft exactly what this community is going to look like moving forward. All right, as always, I'm Rich, and until next time.